You guys, my chicken tenders just arrived. so, I'm trying to hurry up with this video. My chicken tenders just arrived, guys. Anyways, I'm so silly. But anyways, okay, sorry. So, this is the third clothing vendor list of the day. And this is going to be the final one I do today. There's going to be more in the future, so you're going to want to stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to be talking about men's clothing vendors. All right, as sorry, I keep thinking of my chicken tenders. But anyways, just like the previous videos, I'm going to write the website on the bottom and talk about it in more detail if I have any notes on any of the vendors. So be sure to stay tuned. Important information. Please note that none of these vendors are recommended vendors by me personally. I own a designer handbag store and have never tried any of these vendors. This list was gathered from personal research done for you all and may include recommended vendors from other store owners. My goal is to provide you with a list to make it easier for you guys to narrow your search and find the right vendors for your store. For the best results, please notate the vendors you are interested in on this list and do additional research on them before making your purchase. Now it's time to begin. All right, so the first clothing vendor is going to be at Atlantic.com or Atlantic.com. They have men and women's clothing, tees, quarter zips, jackets, and hoodies, and these are the styles that they have. Please note that some of these vendors will be repeated from the women's clothing vendor list because some carry both men and women's clothing. Okay. The second vendor is agropacific.com. The third vendor is blvapparel.com, women and men's clothing. They have jackets, long sleeves, puffer vests, and etc. Here's the different styles. All right, so the fourth vendor is b2bsportswear.com, men, women, and kids clothing. They have long sleeve polo, hoodies, pullovers, and etc. on this site. All right, the fifth vendor is chaseUSAapparel.com, men, women, and children's clothing. All right, sixth vendor is cbexclusives.com, men, women, and children's clothing. They have dress shirts, jeans, shirts, track jackets, and shoes on this site. All right, I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible because I'm sharing 50 vendors with you guys, but I will also be reading my notes. Seventh vendor is dervy.com, men and women's clothing and accessories. They have sweatshirts, jackets, t-shirts, hoodies, and etc. These are the styles that they carry. Eighth vendor is dncwholesale.com, men, women, and children's clothing. They have overstock and closeout products from high-end department stores. So if that's more of what you want, this is the site for you. Ninth vendor is eroswholesale.com, men, women, and kids clothing. And here are the styles. Okay. It kind of looks like the higher the case number, the cheaper it is per item for this site. Actually, I'm just noticing that now as I'm looking at this video with you guys. Whew, I feel like I just said a lot. Sorry. Losing my breath over here. Okay. Next vendor is eptmwholesale.com. They have men's clothing. You may like some of these styles. And I tried to give a mix of various types of clothing, you know, because everybody's store is different and everybody has, you know, different things that they want for their store. So I try to give a variety. The next vendor is efashionwholesale.com. Men, women, and children's clothing is on this site. Vendor number 12 is fashionity.com. Men's, kids, and women's clothing and accessories is on the site. There's actually another vendor that I talked about in the women's clothing vendor list. And here are the styles, some of the styles on the site. I'm like, man, honestly, finding vendors for men's clothing was much harder than finding vendors for women's clothing. So hopefully you guys find something you like, okay? Vendor number 13 is geckoapparel.com. They don't seem to have as much of a variety as some of the other vendors I saw, but they do carry some men's items, so I wanted to show you guys this site as well. These are all gloves, but then it gets some more clothing pieces if you scroll down a bit more. Okay, so the next vendor is GavrielGroupLLC.com, men and women's clothing, leather and fitness type of clothing. These are the styles and products. All right, vendor number 15 is hemworld.com, men, women, and children's clothing. And for some of these vendors, I went straight to the men's section. So this is not the home page of the site, so you just have to click the men's section. Vendor 16, i5store-2.myshopify.com. Okay, that's the vendor website. Vendor 17 is cleepstyle.com. They have wholesale, but it's hidden, so you have to contact them for the wholesale. In a second, I'll show you their about page, and on that page, it does mention wholesale. So sometimes some of your favorite stores may have wholesale, but you know, sometimes they keep that hidden. This particular one, you have to request that from them or inquire directly from them about the wholesale, because it's not shown on the website other than in the about section. Or it's not mentioned per se. Let me go back. Alrighty, cleep. And this is the about section I was talking about. The next vendor is kdnkbrand.com. This is another one where the wholesale is hidden, but in their about page, about us page, they say that they do wholesale, so you have to contact them for wholesale. Okay, vendor number 19 is liquidationgeneral.com. They have men, women, and juniors clothing on here. And they also have brands like Ralph Lauren. Vendor number 20 is macobusa.com. Okay, these are the styles. This is a direct wholesale link. They have urban clothing, hoodies, sweatshirts, jeans, shirts, sets, and etc. So you may like this store for wholesale. Vendor number 21 is neobluejeans.com, men's wholesale jeans. This is a direct wholesale link. They have denim, pants, shorts, tops, and etc. So this is not the wholesale side, but I did put the direct link below. Next vendor is northpines.org. Vendor 23 is oliginwholesale.com. They have women and men's clothing. The men have shorts, shirts, pants, joggers, vests, and jackets. Vendor 24 is pro5usa.com. This is the direct wholesale link, and they have tops, bottoms, boxers, briefs, and etc. on this site. Vendor number 25 is publishbrand.com. This is a direct wholesale link, and they have tops, bottoms, and accessories. And here are some of more of the styles on the side. I was trying to get you guys as many images of some of the styles as possible. Vendor number 26 is Peruso.com. They have shirts, polos, jeans, pants, blazers, jackets, and etc. And this is a direct link for wholesale. So this is another one where if you saw that price that was expensive, this is not the wholesale page, but the link below is for wholesale. All right, so vendor 27 is royalapparel.net. They have men and women's clothing. And face mask, apparently. Okay, so vendor number 28 is regalwear.com, custom and wholesale urban menswear. The contact information is on the site. They don't have much images, but the contact is there. Vendor number 29 is rodeoclothing.com. They have Western/rodeo wholesale clothing on this site. So if that's something you're interested in, here's a site for you. I don't know why I'm thinking about something funny, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to offend nobody. But yeah, this is rodeo clothing, okay? Vendor 30 is ssactivewear.com, men and women's activewear. They have tops, bottoms, headwear, outerwear, accessories, and etc. And you're really gonna have to shop through these different wholesale sites because the prices differ a lot. Okay, the next vendor is superdenims.com. They have blank apparel products on this site for both men and women. Vendor 32 is suntees.info, men and women's tracksuits and etc. This is also another vendor that I mentioned in the women's clothing vendor list because they have both men and women's clothing. The next vendor is superlinewholesale.com, men and women's clothing, and they have tracksuits, joggers, and etc. And I don't think you need a license to shop with this vendor. But don't quote me because I got it to the checkout point, but I didn't check out, so definitely have to go check it out for yourself if you're interested. The next vendor is solidbasics.co, men and women's t-shirts, fleece, and shorts. All right, the next vendor is shakawear.com, and they have more like streetwear clothing on this site. Also have fleece and joggers. Alrighty, let's scroll on down. Okay, the next vendor is skillsrec.net, men and women's clothing. The wholesale is hidden for this vendor, so below is the direct wholesale link. The next vendor is stylewear.us, men's clothing. They have shirts, shorts, and hoodies. And here are some of their items. The next vendor is steeldeal.com. men, women, and children's clothing. They have tees, hoodies, jackets, bottoms, and it doesn't appear like a license is required to shop here, but you have to go check to see. Okay, so the next vendor is cernies.net, men's clothing. They also have drop shipping available with this vendor. And cernies.co is the main site that shows the styles, which is where we are. But if you want the wholesale, you have to go to cernies.net, and that's the where you get the wholesale pieces. I feel like some of you guys will like this style, or the style shown on the site. So yeah, looks kind of trendy, I guess. But don't worry about the prices you see, because as stated already, this is the main site. I just came here to show you guys some of the styles they carry, because the wholesale site didn't really show a lot of items. So if you want the wholesale site, you have to go to cernies.net for the wholesale site. And this one is cernies.co. All right, so vendor number 40 is tradegala.com. They have women, men, and children's clothing and accessories. Some of these poses are funny because like the other pose I saw from the other site, the guy looked like he was saying, "Rock on, rock on." Sorry. Okay, so these are the styles. I think I already mentioned they have accessories. But we're in the 40s, so we're almost done. Okay. Then the next vendor is victoriousla.com. They have men and women's clothing. And I don't know why, like I struggled in the beginning, because I'm just like, they keep showing the women's side, but where is the men's side? Like, I thought I was waiting for the picture to switch over. So I'm trying to show how this is a men's vendor, but all I see is, a woman. So it's finally switched over, so you can see that they also have men's clothing. I'm gonna scroll down a bit, see if there's any more styles you guys can look at. Okay, so there's more styles to show that they have men's clothing as well. Okay, the next one is volumeapparel.com. They have men, women, and children's clothing here. Oh my gosh, where's the hoodie? Okay, so the next vendor is, I can't see the name, it went too fast, but this is another vendor, and the direct wholesale link is below. They have men, women's, and kids clothing. Then the next vendor is clothingShopOnline.com. They have men, women's, and kids clothing, and you don't seem to need a reseller's license to shop here. They have shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, workout clothing, pants, coats, and etc. So the next vendor is clothingisland.com, men, women, and kids clothing, and you don't seem to need a reseller license to shop here either. Vendor 46 is dollardays.com. They have jackets, hoodies, shirts, boxers, and etc. Okay. Vendor 47 is wholesale WholesaleSockDeals.com. Men, women, and kids clothing is available here. And like I said earlier, some of these prices are expensive in my opinion for wholesale, but as you shop around, you'll be able to compare prices and see what works the best for you. I saw something $10, about $10.80 or so. So I guess it's, different levels to the pricing on this site. Okay, so the next vendor is USAClothingmanufacturers.com. They have men, women, and kids clothing. We're almost done. Oh my goodness. You guys don't know the struggles. I've been doing research for these vendors for a long time now. I wanted to get you guys at least 50 vendors. Okay, vendor 49 is WhisperingSmith.com. They have men, women, and kids clothing. And according to their site, they have casual, streetwear, inspired fashion, and smarter clothing. And these are the styles. You have to log in to purchase or to view prices. So you do have to have I'm pretty sure you have to have a reseller's license for that one. And the last vendor is clothingsupplier.com. They have men, women, and children's clothing. They have suits, tuxedos, blazers, coats, shirts, shorts, sportswear, and etc. So if you're interested in more dressy clothing, you may like this site. Finally done.